what you know, or do you only think you know what you know? Therefore, you need to learn what you don't know. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3 of the Torah portion of the Ekanan, and I pleaded. Let's go to chapter number 4 and see if we can unpack the opening statement. Beginning with verse number 1. And now, O Israel, listen to the laws and the right rulings which I am teaching you to do, so that you live and shall go in and possess the land which Yahweh, your Elohim the Elohim of your fathers, has given to you. Do not add to the word which I command you, and do not take away from it. Let's read that part again. Do not add to the word which I command you, and do not take away from it, so as to guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I am commanding you. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did to Baal Peor. For Yahweh your Elohim has destroyed from your midst all the men who follow Baal Peor. Let's pause there. Do we really know what we know? What has that got to do with changing the word, keeping the commands, and Baal Peor? Moshe lumps all of these into one neat little package. First of all, he says that you need to listen to the laws and the right rulings which I am teaching you, so that you live, go in, and possess the land. The understanding from the Torah is that if we go into the land and we fail to keep the Torah, then the land itself will ultimately vomit us out. That has been proven time and again. So the land of Israel is not like any other land on the face of the earth. The land of Israel is intentionally designed by Yah to be inhabited by those who are in covenant with him, who walk according to his commands and his teachings, his instructions, and who practice them obediently out of a loving heart toward him in the land. This is a spiritual ecosystem and economy that only works and works appropriately when all the parts are rightly aligned together and move together like cogs of a gear system, and that they move correctly. One thing out of alignment, and you get the warble effect, and nothing begins to work right. That's not to say that other places in the earth, the United States, for example, couldn't benefit by being a righteous people and walking uprightly and keeping the Torah. I believe we could, if we would, but we don't, so we won't. Do we know what we know? No, we don't. No. Moshe says, and a Phillips translation here, stop adding to the word as was done at Baal Peor. Zimri came in with Cosby, the prostituted daughter of a Moabite official, and he came in claiming that it's only natural for a man to want to eat meat and to have drink and to have relations with a beautiful woman. That's natural law. And natural law can only be given by the Creator, and therefore if the Creator gave us natural law, he gave us a desire to eat. It is he who permitted all the way from the days of Noah that we could eat meat. And he gave us a desire, an inclination of relationships of various levels and degrees with women. It can't be a sin. He worked all this out in his mind. He was preaching this doctrine and people were following along. And they died by the thousands, multiple thousands, at the fury of Yah because he changed the Torah. Korach also went and changed the Torah, or at least he tried to. The whole nation is holy. Moshe, what are you and Aaron doing setting yourselves up above the nation? We're all holy, we're all set apart, and no one is needing you to go get the Torah and bring it down for us. We can hear Yah for ourselves. That's funny. All the way back in Shemot, or Exodus chapter number 19, they were so afraid at the voice of Elohim that they said, Moshe, you go listen to him and come back and tell us what he said. We're not set apart like you are, and therefore, if we continue to hear his voice, we're going to die. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's set apart. There's a danger in us being able to determine and discern our own interpretation of Torah or a completely different Torah. I had a young man sit with me in his parents' living room one time and he says, well, my religion says this. And it was just basically a philosophical angle at life that he had made up himself. No validity, no substantiation of any sort, no life experience. It was just simply justification for his own wants and desires. And I walked away shaking my head at the foolishness of this young man. Here is the danger in altering any tenet or part of the Torah. The Torah is given to us not as a vehicle of redemption. The Torah was never meant to redeem you. Keeping the commands in and of themselves, following the teachings and instructions in and of themselves, just checking off, I've done this, and I've done this, and I haven't messed up in any of the commands. Such was the rich young ruler that came to Yeshua. I've kept all of these things for my life. What else must I do? Let's get your heart involved in this. The Torah was never meant to redeem you. What it was meant to do is to reveal the Redeemer. To so rightly define and determine and describe the Redeemer, the promised seed from all the way back Genesis, Bereshit 3:15, the one that is going to alleviate the curse, break the curse off of us, and crush the serpent's head. That one has been described. Yeshua of Nazareth, HaNazaret, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeshua. If you change any part of the Torah, you're changing the description of the Messiah. If you do away with the Torah, then any one we choose can be the Messiah. If I add to his word, if I take away from his word, I'm adding to or taking away from the real, authentic identity of the Messiah. And he says, so that you live and go in and possess the land which the Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has given to you. It is clear from the complete study of his word that the one who is the heir of the land is the Messiah. He inherits the earth. He rules from the land. And you and I are then brought in as joint heirs with him, Rav Shaul says. We are co-heirs with him. Our inheritance is found in our connection with him. But if we're looking to a different Messiah, we're looking to one who is a deceiver and will not inherit the land. And we ourselves will be left out in the cold and in the dark, misguided, deceived, deluded, and missing out. You cannot afford to change the Torah. And why would we want to change it other than to make it more appealing and appeasing to ourselves? Folks, you and I are the ones who need to be changed. And the Torah is the vehicle of change, revealing the Messiah so that we become more like him. Let Yeshua stand up in the Word, the real, authentic Messiah. Let him stand up. Let's choose him and inherit the land. More tomorrow. Until then, shalom.